Coming up in this edition of the 2018 FIFA World Cup magazine, the culturally diverse city of Kazan. We'll go inside one of the 2018 FIFA World Cup stadiums. And we learn about the crown jewel of Tatarstan football, Rubin Kazan. Kilometers east of Moscow lies one of Russia's most diverse cities. Steeped in both Russian and Tatar culture, Kazan is a captivating blend of the old and the new. And there's one place that epitomizes its many faces better than anywhere else.
The Kazan Kremlin is probably the most popular place to visit in our entire region. Just by walking around it, you can discover the whole history of Kazan.
The Kazan Kremlin is the historical, political and cultural center of Tatarstan, a dominant feature of the city's skyline. It was originally built almost 500 years ago. In 2000, it was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
The people of Kazan are fiercely proud of the pearl of our town. The Kremlin helps preserve our heritage, and it still shapes the mentality of the city. Within its walls, there are many monuments that tell Kazan's history, like stone tablets.
With the famous Annunciation Cathedral and Kol Sharif Mosque sitting alongside its other fabled structures, the Kremlin's grounds reflect the city's cultural diversity, with Muslims and Christians worshipping side by side.
The leaning Soyunbika Tower is one of the most famous architectural symbols of Kazan. According to legend, the tower was built as a condition of Queen Soyunbika agreeing to marry Ivan the Terrible. In despair, she asked permission to look at her beloved city for the final time and to say goodbye to her people before leaving for Moscow. Giving her final speech, she climbed up to the highest tier and threw herself off, landing on the stones below.
Such tales help to draw over 1 million visitors to Kazan each year, providing valuable income for the merchants who trade within the Kremlin grounds. In turn, their traditional wares offer visitors the chance to immerse themselves in the city's rich history.
Tourists really like the clothes. It's not only people who come from Kazan who appreciate them. When you step into the costumes, it feels like you've suddenly appeared in a fairy tale. With all the ancient history that surrounds you in the Kazan Kremlin, you feel like you've become Soyunbika, or one of the Khans, or a great warrior.
I feel very proud and very lucky to share our fascinating history with the people who come here. It's really pleasing that it's not only Russian tourists that visit the Kremlin, but a lot of foreigners too. That means I can really teach them something new, and I can explain all the events in the history of our region.
As one of the host cities in 2018, Kazan is set to welcome thousands of fans. And as the iconic symbol of this city, the Kazan Kremlin will no doubt be high on their itinerary. Since Russia was awarded the 2018 FIFA World Cup 5 years ago, there have been many new additions to Kazan. Investment in the city's infrastructure has often coincided with the hosting of international events, and the construction of over 30 new sports facilities has helped earn Kazan its reputation as the sports capital of Russia. One of them will provide the centerpiece for their biggest event to date.
Kazan Arena.
Our fantastic new stadium. Home to Rubin Kazan Football Club.
And host stadium for the 2018 FIFA World Cup.
It's very important for Kazan to have a stadium like this. It's encouraged more and more visitors to come here. The number of people from other countries and other cities who now know about Kazan is great for both the Republic of Tatarstan and for the city itself.
Opened in May 2013, the Kazan Arena cost $450 million and took 3 years to build. Designed by the same architects as London's Wembley Stadium and Emirates Stadium, the 45,000-capacity arena is intended to resemble a water lily gracing the banks of the Kazanka River.
The Kazan Arena is the first of the new stadiums completed in Russia for the 2018 World Cup. Our city will be home to 4 matches in the 2017 FIFA Confederations Cup and 6 matches in the FIFA World Cup. These will be huge sporting festivals and great occasions for our city and for everyone who lives here.
The Kazan Arena has already staged major international events. In 2013, it hosted the World Summer Universiade, while earlier this year, it was the venue for the World Swimming Championships. The installation of 2 temporary pools for that competition has meant short-term displacement for anchor tenant Rubin. The Russian Premier League side moved into their new home last season.
We have lots of impressive facilities and are trying to develop more every year. It's important that all those who come to the stadium feel happy and comfortable. Already we have a family stand with a kids' space. And we're planning to turn it into an even larger kids' sports room during the FIFA events for children to enjoy.
As Kazan continues to embrace its status as Russia's sports capital, the Kazan Arena will provide both a great venue for the next FIFA World Cup and a focal point for the city's long-term sporting ambitions.
We always keep questions about legacy and using the stadium in the future at the forefront of our minds, in all our programs and projects. Of course, we'd also like the stadium to not only host matches featuring the Russian national team and Rubin in the future, but also finals of important international tournaments. I'm convinced that this stadium, just like all of those that have appeared and will appear in Russia for the World Cup, will help the development of sport here for many decades.
11 of Russia's cities will host the 2018 tournament, and football will only be part of the attraction for visiting fans. So what else is there to see and do?
I'm Dmitry Bermistrov, a beatboxer and musician, and I'd like to tell you about the city I love. Kazan has a very rich and diverse music scene. It spans everything from classical to more modern music. Personally, I prefer modern music, and there are plenty of experimental musicians living around the city nowadays that you can discover. If you want a great musical experience in Kazan, then go to Liberty Square. Take in a performance at the Musa Jalil Opera and Ballet Theatre and enjoy. There are many attractive public parks here in Kazan. This one is by the Kazan National Cultural Centre, and Karl Fuchs Garden is also close by. I spend a lot of my time in these 2 places. All the parks in Kazan are really popular. You often see families out and about. Our parks are vibrant and full of life. They're beautiful open spaces which belong to the people of the city. Now we're by the embankment to the Kazanka River. From here you can enjoy an outstanding view over the whole city, especially in the evening when the lights are on and it's romantic. You can take a walk down by the water and feel a cool breeze on your face. There is so much around here to inspire you. I like to come here because it's a perfect place for quiet contemplation. All of these little things added together help to create a true reflection of what it's like here in Kazan.
On the pitch, the road to Russia continued as Vietnam met Thailand in a Group F encounter in Hanoi in round 2 of Asian qualifying. The hosts were looking to close the gap on the Thais at the top of the table, but it was the visitors who took the lead. Chikarit Tiwikan's 30-yard strike breaking the deadlock. Nicknamed the War Elephants, Thailand were gifted a second in the 56th minute, thanks to Ding Tien Tan's own goal. Thai captain Tiraton Bunmatan then added a third. Thailand's 3-0 victory sees them cement their position at the top of the group, 5 points clear of Iraq, with Vietnam a further point behind. In Group E, due to the conflict within their homeland, Syria faced Afghanistan in Sib, Oman. And they opened the scoring through Osama Amari. The 23-year-old midfielder then added a second in the 21st minute. Before the Eagles claimed a third through Mahmoud Al-Mawas. An Afghan comeback made it 3-2 before Amari completed his hat-trick in the 83rd minute. Al-Mawas then claimed his second of the night in injury time to make it 5-2. Syria's victory sees them move to the top of the group, 2 points ahead of Japan, who have a game in hand. In Doha, Group C leaders Qatar look to keep their perfect start to qualifying intact against the Maldives. Qatar have been imperious so far in qualifying and opened the scoring in the 28th minute through Boalem Kououki. Mohamed Kasula made it 2-0 from a corner. Before Kououki claimed his second of the night 2 minutes later. A fourth from Mohamed Musa in injury time means Qatar sit atop the group with maximum points, having scored an incredible 24 goals and conceded just 2. And finally in Group B, Jordan met Tajikistan, looking to build on their good start to qualifying. Having taken 10 points from their first 4 games, Jordan took the lead in the 65th minute through Hamza Al-Dadour. 2 minutes later, the Jordanians had another, thanks to Hassan Mahmoud's well-placed finish. Before Al-Dadour added a third in injury time. Jordan's 3-0 win sees them move 4 points clear of Australia at the top of the group. The FIFA World Cup is the pinnacle of every footballer's career. On the road to Russia, we'll be bringing you regular updates from young stars hoping to shine in 2018. Here to tell us about his World Cup dream is a Uruguayan youngster who plays for Rubin Kazan.
Mauricio Lemos, centre-back. I was born 28th of December 1995. My earliest memory of Uruguay at the World Cup was the 2010 edition in South Africa. I think the team achieved something historic for Uruguay. It was beautiful, and as a Uruguayan, I get goosebumps every time I talk about that World Cup. We never expected to do so well, and I think it has stayed in the memory of every Uruguayan. I have been fortunate enough to take part in competitions like the Pan American Games and the Under-20 World Cup with Uruguay's youth sides. Now those are over, I dream of playing for the senior team, especially knowing that there is a World Cup here in Russia in 2 years' time. It's what every player aspires to, making the national team and giving your best for the shirt. For me to achieve that, I think I need to mature a little by gaining experience and by playing more games for Rubin's first team. There are definitely aspects of my game I need to improve, but if I work hard and focus, then hopefully the coach will notice me and select me. I will strive to do my very best to be considered for the World Cup squad. I always dreamed of appearing at the World Cup finals when I was a child, so I hope it happens for me in 2018. If it does, I will try my hardest for the national team, because I am proud to wear the Celeste shirt. It's the best feeling there is.
Kazan's population is an equal mix of ethnic Russians and Tatars. The Tatar culture has a significant influence on the city. It's something particularly true of its food. The name Kazan itself comes from the Tatar word for cauldron, and February 28th is even celebrated annually as the Day of Tatar Cuisine.
Tatar national dishes are important for every family. They're passed down from generation to generation. I was taught to cook by my grandmother and great-grandmother. For us, cooking is part of our culture. It's a way to continue our traditions, our family's traditions, and also helps us to welcome our guests.
Tatar cuisine is based around the region's main agricultural products of cereals and livestock, but also includes produce from across Eastern Europe and Central Asia. As the popularity of Tatar food has increased, many of its offerings are now found on plates throughout Russia and beyond.
One of our most common first-course dishes is soup. This is a rich lamb soup which is very filling. It has a lot of meat and is served with potatoes and noodles. We also have cured meats as another first course. We've made a traditional Khan's feast, which includes smoked goose, horse meat sausage, and horse salo. These are some of our traditional cold snacks. Now we have some of the hot food, such as this belish. These are also traditional national dishes that you'll find in every home, and every host will serve them to their guests. They're a big favorite with our customers.
The cooking methods have gradually changed over the centuries, but many recipes remain largely unchanged, a fact cherished by modern Tatars, who see their cuisine as an important link to their ancestors.
Love is a very important part of it too. We put our heart and soul into our cooking and pass that on to the diners. We think of all the traditions from our parents, and we use that as inspiration to put plenty of love into our cooking.
When you go to the stadium now, there's a real aura.
I think that playing for such a club is an honor for any player.
Whenever I watch Rubin, I get this wonderful feeling. I've been a fan since I was a child and will be one forever.
Rubin is the team of the city. In fact, it's more than that. It's the team of the whole republic.
Football Club Rubin is Kazan's most famous sporting export. Much of their 57-year history was spent in the second and third tiers of Russian football. But over the past decade, they've become a force in the top flight.
This club has a tradition of winning. They were champions of Russia, winners of the Cup and Super Cup. They participated in the UEFA Champions League and the Europa League. So this is one of the most successful clubs in the Russian Premier League in recent times. There aren't many Russian clubs that have made such a good name for themselves, particularly in Europe.
In 2009, Rubin became the first side from outside Moscow to claim back-to-back league titles. This success led to UEFA Champions League qualification and some famous nights on the European stage, including victory over Barcelona at the Camp Nou.
Our first title wasn't that tough to win, but the second time it was. We did it though, and played well in the Champions League, which was another success for us. I think we raised the profile of Russian football, but we also helped people find out about the Republic of Tatarstan and about Kazan and Rubin too.
Rubin's last silverware came in 2012. Since then, the transfer spending that characterized their most successful period has diminished, and many of their big-name foreign stars have departed. A poor start to this season saw the dismissal of head coach Rinat Bilyal-Yadinov, while Kazan's mayor Ilsor Medshin was brought in as president.
There isn't a single football club in the world that has been successful throughout its history. Highs and lows happen, just like the seasons change in nature. However, we think that our sponsors and shareholders will increase investment and financing very soon. And, in the near future, we'll be back among the top places in the Russian Premier League.
Rubin's recent move to the Kazan Arena has been a step in the right direction, helping rekindle enthusiasm for the club among the city's residents.
Football is very popular in Kazan, and it's becoming more popular every day, especially as the World Cup is coming here soon. People are really looking forward to it. Traditionally, the fans always fill the stands when big teams come from the capital in St. Petersburg. Likes of Zenit, Spartak, CSKA, Lokomotiv. The tickets are always sold out for matches like that.
Yes, there may have been some tough times, but the fans have never left the club or turned away from it. I'm convinced that the team is heading towards a bright future and more success. This team can be one of the best in world football.
With a renewed focus on youth development and several talented Russian youngsters now in the first team, there's optimism that Rubin will soon halt their current slide. If the new regime can help Rubin challenge for honours again, then the 2018 FIFA World Cup may not be the only football being celebrated here in the coming years.
I think we're some way off, but it's not beyond our reach. We have to work very hard, and not just the team, but also the club, the Republic, and everyone involved with football here. We must become a top club in Russia again.
Rubin has everything it needs. We just have to be patient, and then we'll start winning trophies, achieving higher league positions, and get even more fans coming to games.